Welcome to Tales by Twilight, with your host, Twisting Ways. Follow me to distant lands with knights, dragons, wicked witches, and fairies.
Hello, this is Twisting Ways on YouTube, and welcome to Twilight Tales. I'm recording this directly from the YouTube thing, so I don't have any cool pictures for you or anything, because I'm using a Vista computer, and I don't know how to create videos with Vista, because I've never used Vista. I went straight to Windows 7, so you'll have to bear with me. You don't really watch me when I tell stories anyway. So just sit back and listen. I'm going to tell the tale of Mother Hole from the Brothers Grimm. This is one of my most favorite of fairy tales from the Brothers Grimm. It gives an excellent account of Holda, which is a goddess of witchcraft, and how she is both fair and dark at the same time. I will be also posting an article on my blog, probably later tomorrow, to give a deeper insight about who Mother Hole is. And so we begin. Mother Hole by the Brothers Grimm. A widow had two daughters, one who was beautiful and industrious, the other ugly and lazy. But she was fonder of the ugly and lazy one because she was her own daughter. The other had to do all the housework and carry out the ashes like a Cinderella. Every day the poor maiden had to sit near a well by the road and spin until her fingers bled. Now, one day it happened that the reel became quite bloody, and when the maiden leaned over the well to rinse it, it slipped out of her hand and fell to the bottom. She burst into tears, ran to her stepmother, and told her about the accident. But the stepmother gave her a terrible scolding, and was very cruel. "If you let the reel fall in," she said, "then you'd better get it out again." The maiden went back to the well, but did not know where to begin. She was so distraught that she jumped into the well to fetch the reel, but she lost consciousness. When she awoke and regained her senses, she was in a beautiful meadow where the sun was shining and thousands of flowers were growing. She walked across this meadow, and soon she came to a baker's oven full of bread. But the bread was yelling, take me out, or else I will burn. I've been baking long enough." She went up to the oven and took out all the loaves one by one with the baker's peel. After that she moved on and came to a tree full of apples. Shake me," the tree exclaimed. "My apples are all ripe." She shook the tree till the apples fell like raindrops, and she kept shaking until they had all come down. After she had gathered them and stacked them in a pile, she moved on. At last she came to a small cottage where an old woman was looking out of a window. She had such big teeth, and the maiden was scared and wanted to run away. But the old woman cried after her, "Why are you afraid, my dear child? Stay with me, and if you do all the housework properly, everything will turn out well for you. Only you must make my bed nicely and carefully, and give it a good shaking so the feathers fly. Then it will snow on earth, for I am Mother Hole." Since the old woman had spoken so kindly to her, the maiden plucked up her courage and agreed to enter her service. She took care of everything to the old woman's satisfaction, and always shook the bed so hard that the feathers flew about like snowflakes. In return, the woman treated her well. She never said an unkind word to the maiden, and she gave her roasted and boiled meat every day. After the maiden had spent a long time with Mother Hole, she became sad. At first she did not know what was bothering her, but finally she realized that she was homesick. Even though everything was 1,000 times better there than at home, she still had a desire to return. At last she said to Mother Hole, "I've got a tremendous longing to return home, and even though everything is wonderful down here, I've got to return to my people." "I'm pleased that you want to return home," Mother Hole responded, "and since you've served me so faithfully, I myself shall bring you up there again." She took the maiden by the hand and led her to a large door. When it was opened and the maiden was standing right beneath the doorway, an enormous shower of gold came pouring down, and all the gold stuck to her so that she became completely covered with it. "I want you to have this because you've been so industrious," said Mother Hole, and she also gave her back the reel that had fallen into the well. Suddenly the door closed, and the maiden found herself back up on earth, not far away from her mother's house. When she entered the yard, the cock was sitting on the well and crowed, "Cock-a-doodle-doo, my golden maiden, what's new with you?" She went inside to her mother, and since she was covered with so much gold, her mother and sister gave her a warm welcome. Then she told them all about what had happened to her, and when her mother heard how she had obtained so much wealth, she wanted to arrange it so her ugly and lazy daughter could have the same fortune. Therefore the daughter had to sit near the well and spin, and she made the reel bloody by sticking her fingers into a thorn bush and pricking them. After that she threw the reel down in the well and jumped in after it. Just like her sister, she reached the beautiful meadow and walked along the same path. When she came to the oven, the bread cried out again, take me out, or else I will burn. I've been baking long enough." But the lazy maiden answered, "I've no desire to get myself dirty." She moved on, and soon she came to the apple tree that cried out, shake me, my apples are all ripe." However, the lazy maiden replied, "Are you serious? One of the apples could fall and hit me on my head." Thus she went on, and when she came to Mother Hole's cottage, she was not afraid, because she had already heard of the old woman's big teeth, and she hired herself out to her right away. On the first day she made an effort to work hard and obey Mother Hole when the old woman told her what to do, for the thought of gold was on her mind. On the second day she started loafing, and on the third day she loafed even more. Indeed, she did not want to get out of bed in the morning, nor did she make Mother Hole's bed as she should have, and she certainly did not shake it so hard so the feathers flew. Soon Mother Hole became tired of this and dismissed the maiden from her service. The lazy maiden was quite happy to go, and expected that now the shower of gold would come. Mother Hole led her to the door, but as the maiden was standing beneath the doorway, a big kettle of pitch came pouring down over her instead of gold. "That's the reward for your services," Mother Hole said, and shut the door. The lazy maiden went home covered with pitch, and when the cock on the well saw her, it crowed, "Cock-a-doodle-doo, my dirty maiden, what's new with you?" The pitch did not come off the maiden, and remained on her as long as she lived. So as we can see, this story has elements of journeying to a different world than our own. And also it shows that if one is responsible and caring of other persons, then you will be well rewarded. But if you are rude and terrible, then you will have a load of tar dipped upon your head. I'm going to talk about this more in my blog post because it's easier for me to type it all up than sitting here and trying to explain it. But just think about the elements of this story and try to apply it to your practice in how you approach spirits and the gods. Are you kind to them? Do you try to force things out of them, or are you giving and generous so that they are generous in return? Until next time, this has been Twisting Ways on YouTube with Twilight Tale.